Well, good morning, friends, and welcome to my channel. I'm Crystal, and this is Homemaking on the Homestead. And today I'm just gonna take you along with me as I'm enjoying these wonderful fall days. The weather has been beautiful, a little bit rainy, but we've had a lot of sunny days, which of course I just love. And with these cool days, we have been doing a lot of things on our homestead to prepare for winter. My husband's been doing things, I've been doing things, and so I'm going to be showing you that throughout the video. One of the things that I have been doing a lot lately is making soup. And while we will eat soup any time of the year, there is just something special about soup and cool days that go hand in hand, and it's just one of those things lately that has been so comforting and enjoyable and makes my home just smell delicious and just gives it that warm, cozy feel. On this particular day, I was making a hamburger vegetable soup. I had a lot of vegetables in my refrigerator that I wanted to kind of use up, and I just figured that sounded to be like a delicious soup. I don't typically use a recipe. I just kind of see what I have and throw it together.
The main thing. We should focus on the core storyline and message of the scriptures, which in Paul's day meant primarily the Old Testament.
I'm a teacher. That is why I'm suffering.
Aside from my fresh chopped vegetables, I was also using food from my pantry, my canning pantry. So I had some green beans and some sweet potatoes that I canned, and red beans, and a quart jar of chicken broth. I knew I could put all these together to make us a very delicious dinner. I also had a little bit of canned pumpkin left over from having done some other pumpkin baking, and I decided to finish it off by putting it into this soup. Ooh, that gave it such a great flavor. One of the projects that have to be done on our homestead each year is gathering our winter's wood, because we burn wood to keep warm all winter, and my husband was a little bit late getting started on this project. Down by our pond, we had about 3 trees that had died. On the top, they still had some leaves, but they were pretty dead trees at this point, and so he decided he would take those down. After taking the trees down, then it's a matter of chainsawing them into the size that fits in the wood stove, and then cutting and splitting, and it's a lot of work. I've talked to him over the years about getting a log splitter, but he says he enjoys it and he doesn't mind doing it, so he continues to. And one load at a time, he brings each one up to the backyard and continues to process them all the way up until we have a wood bin that's nicely stacked and ready for us for the winter. This year we have about 4 cords in there, which should do the job. I had an older set of sheets that got a rip in them, and luckily for me, Costco had sheets on sale, so I wanted to get those washed so I could get them on the bed at some point. In my mind, nothing goes better with homemade soup than some homemade bread of some sort. On this particular day, I was making some pumpkin dinner rolls. I shared this recipe link in my last video, but I wanted to talk about it again and share the link again in case people missed it, because these dinner rolls were absolutely delicious. I cannot believe how much pumpkin flavor they had, and we enjoyed them so much with our soups. In fact, the first night I made some chicken noodle soup and served them with that, and then the next night was the hamburger vegetable soup that you saw me making, and it was delicious. One of the things that really contribute to peaceful days at home are routines, and the daily do's and the things that we do each day just add a piece to our life. For me, one of the things I do every afternoon is set up the coffee for the next day. My husband is the one that gets up before me because he's a very early riser and doesn't need as much sleep as I do, I guess. So I always like to have the coffee set up and ready for him. Another thing that I did preparing for the cooler days ahead was to pull my winter clothing, my warm shirts and warmer clothes out of storage. I put them in a tote for the winter when I bring out all my spring and summer clothes, and then it is time at this point to bring them all back out and get those ready for these cooler, colder days ahead. And then I clean out my dresser of any of the t-shirts and tank tops and summer clothes, and I put those back into the tote until the warmer days of next spring and summer. Another thing that we do here on our homestead is to put plastic windows up. We have a very old home and it's very drafty, and so every year we put these plastic window. There are the 3M or Frost King brand. My husband gets them at Costco, and he has made these permanent frames so that he can just put them up on the window and then remove them and reuse them year after year. Eventually, though, they need to be replaced. The plastic gets older and cracked, but they last for several years, providing nothing gets poked into them. But so we had a couple. He had 2 or 3 that he needed to replace this year, and this was the one that is in the dining room. And he just simply made the frames himself, and he puts the plastic around. He buys the largest size piece of plastic that they sell for like patio doors, so that he has plenty of plastic for his windows. On this one in particular, he screwed it to the outside years ago, but typically he puts it inside the window frame. And then you can use a hair dryer or a heat gun and make them very see-through, and they are inexpensive and they do such an amazing job. With my fresh, new, clean sheets, I decided to put them on the bed, and that it was time to pull out my winter comforter. The nights were getting kind of cool, and the thin bedspread that I had just wasn't quite enough. We were feeling kind of cool at night, so I have a down comforter that, again, I put away during the warmer months and pull it out as another thing that I do to prepare for winter. want to thank all of you guys for stopping by and visiting with me today and spending these few days that I've shown you around my homestead and the things that we do to get ourselves ready for these colder days ahead. I hope that you have enjoyed this visit, and I just appreciate you all so much. I hope you all have an awesome and blessed week ahead, and I'll see you all in my next video.